All right, Ambush, and today, I am very excited because I am joined by a Canadian singer-songwriter who has been making the game, hitting the road, making the towns for well over 20 years almost here now, and in that time, a whole lot of ears have had the pleasure of hearing his incredible voice, whether as a solo artist or with the amazing group Lion Bear Fox, for which you might know him. Of course, I speak of our guest here today, Ryan McMahon, who is just releasing a new single entitled One More Fire, which we're talking about today. I'm excited to dive into it. How's it going today, Ryan?
Oh, good, man. That reminds me of like a wrestling promo. That was awesome.
I actually do work inside.
One more fire.
I work in the pro wrestling industry, so.
Really?
Yes, I'm a referee and an announcer.
Wow. Spot on then.
So very good job on picking that out. Oh my goodness. And I'm glad that you enjoyed the intro. I'm very excited here to dive into this music. I have been following you probably for quite a few years now. Saw you live about 4 years back here in the lovely city of Kamloops, and I am so very excited to dive into where the road has carried you since then.
Sure. Okay, let's dive in.
Perfect. All right. So, of course, we mentioned your latest single, One More Fire. It's been well over a year now. Back in February, you released a couple of singles. Well, I mean, you released a Christmas single in between then and there, but for your actual singles, you released a double single entitled I Still Don't Want You in Middle of History back last February. So what is the last year sort of held here for Ryan McMahon?
Well, that's such a different song. I still want you. I don't want you. That's another sentiment for like another girlfriend of yore. But I did. I did a bunch of home recording when the pandemic hit. Twiddled my thumbs for a little bit of it, but then finally got, no pun intended, a fire lit under me by a good friend by the name of Aaron Pritchett that people may know of the Canadian country music fame. And we become fast friends over the course of the last couple of years. And forgive my voice. I've had a head cold for like it's not the Rona, but it's knocked me down a little bit and I sound a little kooky. But yeah, Aaron was like, hey, let's go in the studio and record a song together with some folks that I know. One of them, namely being his son, Jordan, and his gal, Danielle. And I just was, there's a lot of downtime. And if there was ever a good time to jump in and try something new and take a chance with some new people, some new friends, I had nothing to lose. So we went over to the warehouse in Vancouver and jumped in and recorded this song that, I've been writing for a lot of years, and optimism isn't always a featured guest in my writing. And this one, I just needed it. I needed it. And I think that the audiences need it. And it's just this positive, upbeat number where the refrain is, I want to be happy. I want to be happy. And it's such an important mantra for me to have to sing every night, and that gave way to many more songs of the like.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you mentioned, maybe a little bit of a change up, but definitely the right time as things are sort of opening back up and we're getting those opportunities to do exactly what this song talks about, sort of light one more fire up, meet up with some friends, have some good experiences, create some memories, right?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, that's what it is about. And it's also, if we can dive into, symbolism and metaphor just a little bit, it's one more fire that I'm lighting under myself to just stay driven and stay focused and serve that teenage dream of being a working singer-songwriter and doing whatever I can to keep that lit, And so far it's been really well received and it comes out next week. We're internationally releasing it. which is sort of a phrase that I haven't had the good fortune of saying before. So it's an exciting time in our house for sure.
Oh, wow. So, I mean, I love the symbolism behind that, especially after the last couple of years where, say, someone like yourself, where you've been hitting the road and making those miles, those kilometers, I guess, from a Canadian standpoint,
Yep.
for so long, and probably making quite a bit of your living through that aspect of the music industry. And then to suddenly not have that, it's sort of like, okay, and then just, all right, we're coming out of it, light that fire up, let's get going again, right? Love it.
Yeah. I mean, live is especially, obviously due to the way that we as a society consume music now, live had become the bread and butter, right? And I had the good luck to go down to the States a few times with Lion Bear Fox and meet some people down there that we're still working with on the solo side. And when we got into quarantine and lockdown and stuff, I had a hard time, taking a look at my reality and who I was and going, well, who am I if I don't have this? And so there was a little bit of down, like low times for me, just feeling rather apathetic and fearful of what the future was going to bring. And so now, I mean, we're not out of the woods yet. There's still lots of work to be done, just as folks, as people, just, the biggest thing with me that I noticed over not just the pandemic and things like that, but just like division is just like, that really gets me down. And I try to use social media for what it is and for the positive ways we use it. But sometimes you can kind of fall down that well, of opinion. And you know what they say about opinions, right? So just get in, get on, share your life, and then get off, and then go live your life. And don't absorb all the negativity, because we could do with less of that. So that's what a lot of these new songs are about.
Absolutely. Less negativity. Get out there. Go create those positive experiences and memories.
Live your life.
Exactly. Live your life. Go check out a Ryan McMahon show. Come on.
Yeah, please do.
Please, come on. He just hit the road, obviously, for the pre-release tour for this track as well. So, being able to do exactly that, get back out onto the road, hitting 17 dates, I believe, in March, a couple here in April, and you
21.
still have some at the end of this month too, I believe, on Vancouver Island. So just getting right out there.
Yeah, it's my job. If I don't work, we don't eat. So I'm March was insane. That was a blender for sure. It ended up being 21 or 22 dates, plus a recording session just right in the middle of it. And I think that's kind of what wore me down. Once I've been able to relax this week, my body's kind of gone, giving me a little bit of an uppercut and said, "Hey, asshole, relax, sit down." And so it's good. Yeah, it's been good. Home, March was great. It's always great to come home. The duality of having a life on the road, and that's one of the things I missed. Being gone makes me better as a husband, as a father when I'm home. It makes me appreciate it more, the domestication. But when it's all domestic all the time, that doesn't feed my spirit. And so, I went a little bit nuts. So that's why March was so good. I came back in April. I'm in a good mood again. Looking at people's homework, taking out the trash, all of those things, the normal, doing the dishes,
Getting it done, right? Exactly. Balance.
Yes.
Balance is important.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, of course, going through Western Canada, you saw some -30, you saw some beautiful skies, you had quite some experiences, and you probably got to share some of these new songs with some of the fans as well. What was the feedback like?
Really well. It was my favorite solo tour I've ever done. And of course, that's partly due because it was the first one in 2.5 years. But yeah, once I got to Saskatchewan, minus 45, zero visibility, had to cancel a show just outside of Regina in a little town called Grenfell, which I love. But then the next day it's 4. What, like, who are you, Saskatchewan? What are you? Make up your mind. It was great. It was, other than the crazy weather, it was awesome. Real highlights. I mean, Penticton, I love going to wine country and playing a killer show. The Dream Cafe in Penticton's a beautiful place to play and see a show. I don't know if you've ever been there. Great date in Calgary. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to single any of them out, but I mean, there's some of those people that you run into in those markets, in those towns. They've been following me for over a decade. I got given a guitar on this tour.
Huh.
You want to see it?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay. It's right here. It's handy.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So there's this guy in Red Deer, Alberta. It's weird looking. Hey, it's different.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. No sound hole right here, but it's so, yeah. Gilmore Guitars, based out of Red Deer. He's a guitar builder. Also used to work in radio. And just a sweetheart gem of a dude, and his wife Adrian as well. She's not a dude; she's a lady. And sorry, Norm Macdonald just stopped by. Yeah, so I go and do his podcast. We do a little interview before the show in Red Deer, and then he says, "Hey, Rye," because I purchased a guitar off him in the past during the LBF days, and he says, "Rye, come into the showroom and check out what I've been building." And I said, No, man, you're not going to rope me into another guitar. I haven't been gigging in 2 years. I need all of the cash has to come home and support the mortgage. And he said, no, just come and see what I've been working on. It's different. It's different. And so I go into his showroom after the interview. We have a little bourbon during the interview too. And so I'm weak. and he just stops me and he says, Ryan, we love you. We believe in you. Pick any guitar on the wall and it's yours. And we had to cry. Like, it was just like, so these relationships, some of them have lasted, like I say, over a decade. And to go back out and reconnect with what used to be annual friends, you'd see them once a year and you'd get together and just celebrate being alive, celebrate music. And to have that, obviously to lose that for a couple of years, this was a very celebratory time. And it's just so grateful to have done it.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, that is an incredible story. And I'm glad that you had the opportunity to get on the road to see some of those faces once again. And of course, you mentioned the Faces, known as a group known as Across Parallel, past guests of the show.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you were in the studio. They helped you to craft this new song. But I also happen to know that after this first leg of the tour, you went right back inside of the studio to work with the group. So I'm guessing that means there's more music coming our way.
Yeah. We've had a couple follow-up singles in the can. I never understood that. Ready to go. And Jordan and Danielle, they're just a dream to work with. And I've worked with producers in the past that you knew kind of what you were getting going in. But in the case of One More Fire and now these two new tunes, which will ultimately, they'll be doing the whole record without a doubt, which will be due out. We'll go single, and then the album will come out early 23. But I purposely did zero homework on who Jordan was and who Danielle was. I wanted to go in and everything almost be, like a Bob Ross painting, like happy accidents. Just, I'm Ryan. This is what I do. You guys offer what you offer. Let's go to work and just see what happens. And that was a really like immediate. It was just a ride that you were buckling up for, and you didn't know where you were going, and that's exciting. It's like a live show. You don't know what you're going to get, and so they're wonderful young folks, and they're just down in Nashville now. You've done your homework. You know where they're at.
Oh, they just moved.
They did. Yeah. Yeah. And Jordan's allergies are driving him crazy down there. She, of course, is loving it. But yeah, to work with a team, you know, and to kind of watch them feed off each other, sometimes agree, sometimes disagree. And then ultimately I come in and go, no, they're wonderful to work with. They come up with ideas and that's the best thing you can ask for from your producer. They come up with stuff that I wouldn't have thought of on my own.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, it's a little bit of a different shift, a little more positivity this time around. And I cannot wait to see what exact energy was captured in these upcoming singles, as well as the upcoming album.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It'll be a shift in, and it's embarrassing to say that it took me so long, I think, to find it, but it's better late than never. It'll be a record full of gratitude.
Hey, well, it found you, right? The timing.
Yeah.
Timing is very important. And of course, there's new singles, a new album on the way. Is there, what else does the future potentially hold here for the world of Ryan McMahon? Maybe more tours, maybe some music videos, maybe just some taking out some garbage and doing some dishes.
Yeah, all of the above, really. Yeah, the video will come out a few weeks after the single is available on all your platforms and whatnot. We shot the video for One More Fire with this guy, Sean Lyons. He's it's really fun for me to work with folks that are younger than me for a change. And that's just going to happen because I'm getting old. My teenagers tell me all the time. And the video comes out this festival. We have some, this summer, we have some festival dates. There it is. More coffee, kid.
More
okay.
Coffee. You got that.
And yeah, so we're going to do Sunfest here in the island. That's a big country festival. We're on a couple bands before Dallas Smith, who's awesome. We have some friends in his band, and his bass player is best friends with my drummer. So that'll be kind of cool to hang and catch up. And then we're also doing this. There's another festival I'm super looking forward to a couple weeks before that on Bowen Island. It's a kind of a inaugural, it's called the Snug Cove Music Festival, but that's with kind of more folky artists. That's John and Roy, current swells on the bill, Jesse Roper, Daniel Wesley's doing it. Daniel's a friend of ours. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Hey, lots going on then.
Staying busy, man.
Dates. Yeah. Hey, getting back out onto the road. Like you said, go to a Ryan McMahon show. Please.
Yeah, please. He needs the money. Yeah.
Buy a shirt.
Buy a shirt. Take the ride.
Take the ride. Take a picture. Post it. I was here.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. I have had a blast diving behind this new track here today, Ryan. I have one last question for you. You ready for it?
Go. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we've talked about the process, the time of crafting this last single, this new single, as well as getting back into the studio, maybe a shift of energy, maybe getting back into the world, lighting that fire after a little bit of time of not knowing what was coming next. And now what I would like to know now is through this time, through this process, how has this time helped you to grow as a person, or what has it taught you about yourself?
Good Lord. What was the order of that? Okay. No, I got it. Well, like I said, it's the aforementioned gratitude. I've been chasing this career for so long, and inevitably you get told no a lot. It doesn't matter how successful or unsuccessful you are. There's always like a festival that comes out, or there's like a publication or a podcast that you're like, well, how come I didn't get that? And I used to let those hits linger, on my facade a little bit longer than I should have, And so what ends up happening when you do that, I found now, is that you start being in this business and in this career and in this vocation for the wrong reasons. because you're always chasing other people's validation when really the only person you need to be looking after is yourself and your family. And if you're doing something like writing a song and putting a piece of your heart and your mind out into the world, all you need to be doing is serving yourself. And if you are, I found over the last year and a bit, I found that if you just do that, and if you're authentic when you do that, like-minded people will seek you out and they will understand what you're saying more than if you're, trying to chase trends, or if you're, delivering your songs in a voice that isn't yours. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Be honest, be true, and your fans will find you.
Yeah. And I think that, and I believe that, during my time in Lion Bear Fox, those were really honest times too. And being in a band with Corey and Chris, the Lion and the Bear, that made me a better bandmate. I mean, so it's been a long process. It's not like, some arrow of epiphany hit me just during the pandemic, but, it's been a 20-year learning curve. Right. And it's, I'm grateful for a show that has 25 super attentive people in a living room as much as I am, playing for a couple of thousand at Sunfest this summer. Just enjoy it all. It's all a ride. And in the end, you're going to just leave when I'm dust and bone, the songs will be what matters. So put as much into those as you can and just be true.
Hey, I love that. Thank you for sharing this lesson, as well as the story behind this new track, One More Fire, here with us today on the DTP, Ryan.